Greetings from Florida Institute of Technology. We want to present hybrid learning, the actual case of a graduate systems engineering program for the industry. We have three co-authors, myself being the first author, and then Dr. Shoaib Sheikh and Gabby Hawat are the other two co-authors. Agenda today is the university's purpose, what it should be, prevalent course delivery models, 100% in-class traditional learning, 100% online learning, the two extremes, and the hybrid learning models in between. We also then want to talk about a real-world case of hybrid learning and finish with conclusions. The purpose of a university, of course, is to educate and secure knowledge to the students and all its clients. Teaching, of course, there are three areas of the university purpose: the teaching, the research, and the service. The teaching, of course, involves offering degree programs, undergrad, grad, PhDs, and so on, and maybe modules and industry courses and those types of things. And then, of course, research involves basic research, or it could be experimental research and sponsored research programs as well. Service involves serving the university on different committees, the grad council, senate, and so on and so forth, but also serving the community in the area and the community nationally or internationally. But by the same token, teaching should be at the highest priority. Universities are great in their specific areas, but sometimes teaching gets the lower priority, and the students pay the tuition fee. So the teaching should be at the heart of a university's responsibilities. Why? Because students carry their classroom learning experiences all their lives. And nowadays we have the internet, we have the social media, the YouTube, and so we can devise innovative teaching tools to get the point across to the students, not just in the classroom, but also via all these media at all times. You can teach literally and learn as students 24/7. There are concepts of massive open online courses, the MOOC, like there are universities which offer that, where you have all these courses available to learn. It's only when you want to register that you pay the tuition fee and get the credit. There is a flipped classroom concept where you have the homework and assignments that get done in class with student interaction. They learn it better that way, and the lectures are stored online on Canvas or those types of media of course delivery. So that sets the stage as to what are the delivery models today. Like we say, we have 100% online learning to 100% traditional method, like we've been doing face-to-face. And in between these two extremes, in between this spectrum, there's a whole series of models of hybrid learning. More classroom meetings to less classroom meetings, and the rest of that would be online learning, and so on and so forth. So there are three fundamental categories: 100% in-class learning, the so-called traditional models, 100% online learning, and of course hybrid learning models in between, live class plus online learning, meeting students via phone, via email, via Canvas, and those types of learning resources. About the 100% in-class learning, there is nothing like being present in a classroom and learning face-to-face. Certain students and corporations, they expect that actually, especially corporations. Parents pay the tuition fee. They expect their children to learn face-to-face in class, meet the teacher, help solve the problems, and so on and so forth. Of course, besides that, certain engineering courses, science courses, computing and math courses that involve heavy mathematical derivations, they don't lend themselves to online learning. Face-to-face learning is the best way. Tools, of course, are rapidly being made available to overcome the part of classroom-only dilemma. And it's happening in many universities and many institutions. And of course, by the same token, like I mentioned before, parents expect their children to absorb the difficult material, especially mathematical concepts, face-to-face. 100% online course delivery, the other side of the spectrum. This method entails learning via internet, the so-called online learning, e-learning. There has to be some tool that is available like Canvas or some dedicated websites where the videotape lectures are made available to the students. Exams are proctored through appropriate means and according to the policies and procedures of the university. There is no face-to-face meeting at all. You don't get to see the student. There's no touch and feel situation here. But this has a benefit as well, that you can learn literally at any time. PowerPoint lectures and so on and so forth. That working individuals, this type of thing is excellent in that they can put in their time at work and also learn on their own after kids go to bed or after work and those types of things. Business type courses lend themselves to this type of 100% online course delivery. Many universities which offer 100% online learning, they start with business courses because of the descriptive nature of many of the business courses. Now, hybrid learning, as the name itself suggests, it has a little bit of live in-class face-to-face learning and a little bit of online learning. And of course, there are a number of, it's like on a continuum, these hybrid learning models. It just depends on what that institution is doing, what is the agreement between students and the institution and the policy of that university. For example, you could have 1/3 in-class meeting time and 2/3 online meeting time, especially if you have to go to other countries, other places to teach. You have, for example, an agreement between, say, Florida Tech, our university, and say a university in China. You can go to China. The faculty can go to China for 2 weeks, come back, do, say, 2 weeks of teaching there, 15 hours contact hours, and the remaining contact hours, 35 or 40 contact hours can be done online. So this allows the students also here that sometimes in industry learning, this type of hybrid model is good because sometimes students are absent. They have meetings, they have to, and the students especially who are employees, working people, they're busy. So when they're on travel, they can learn. When they cannot attend a class because of the meetings, business meetings, they can learn through online learning as well. Of course, questions and answers can be operated either synchronous, like while the class is live in session, or asynchronous at a weekly scheduled time. It can be via phone, via email, via Skype meeting, via web meeting, and those types of tools that are available, GoToMeeting and things like that. Hybrid learning, like I say, consists of many models. We talked about this. The choice of a particular model just depends on what the agreement is between the client and the institution which is teaching it. We applied hybrid learning. We continue to apply that as a real-world case at Florida Tech, in that back in 2003, two corporations, DoD, Department of Defense contractors, approached us to offer a master's degree in systems engineering, MSSE. And after some discussions, we came up with the curriculum, we came up with a list of courses, core courses, electives, and so on and so forth. And so we decided to have this hybrid model where we would have the live class, those who can attend. Of course, we also have students joining not just from the main campus corporate locations, but also from outside locations within the United States and also outside the United States. So that makes it good for hybrid learning, where you have a live class with the local employees and also videotape the lecture, put it on Canvas or some such tool, and then have the outside people, outside working employees look into get into the learning as well. Course topics are mutually developed over a period of time. We have core courses, half of them, 5 core courses, 5 electives. Elective courses, can vary. we have been very successful in these programs in that we currently have 11 rotations. We just started the 11th rotation. So a rotation is like a cohort of students that start at the same time and that finish at the same time, so-called lockstep meetings. We have a special all year round schedule, not according to the fall semester or spring semester. This way we are able to complete the course, the whole MSSE degree, in a little over 2 years. That makes the company happy, that keeps the schedule going on the Florida Tech side as well. Like I said, degree duration is 2.5 years. Success factors, of course, include adapting to the corporation. An example of that is our elective set, which is the 5 courses that with every rotation, every cohort, we get back with the corporation and consult with them and decide on what electives to offer from our long list of electives. That way it serves to just-in-time learning and training on part of the corporation. All classes are offered in the evenings, but we have our accreditation requirements of meeting times, which is 45 hours of meeting time. We try to apply flipped classroom concept where students get to learn concepts and topics at their leisure time through the videos, but then the class time is spent on project discussion. Most of the projects are corporate projects, as long as the confidentiality is not violated. That has worked very, very well indeed. Any questions that may arise, we answered those questions. This program has been so successful that local companies are approaching us already to help us, help them with learning systems engineering. So in conclusion, of course, teaching, research, and service are the fundamental functionalities of an academic institution. But teaching must stand as a high priority, no matter how reputed the university may be, because the students pay the tuition fee. Parents expect their children to learn, and students keep that learning all their life. And they talk about that when they become big officers in the corporate world. But by the same token, as the technology advances, online learning and hybrid learning models will be more and more prevalent in the future. This is what we have to say. We wanted to share that with our audience, and thank you very much for listening to us.